Great, let's get started. Closing down the streets, we got to keep traffic moving, so we want to start the groundbreaking. And I thought my name is Phil Burdell. I work for Susquehanna Real Estate, and we work with York College on doing different neighborhood engagement types of activities, of which this is a great example of that. But before we start, I'd like to introduce you to Tony Campisi. He's the president of Gladfelter Insurance, and he has a few remarks that you will find interesting. Thank you. Tony?
Thank you, Phil. This was rather impromptu. Phil called me about a few days ago and said, I'd like you to show up if your schedule permits on Monday. We're going to have a little ceremony to celebrate our achievement here along West Jackson Street with this corridor that we're improving. And since you grew up in this neighborhood and you're a member of the York College Board of Trustees, and just as importantly, as the chair of what we call the Neighborhood Revitalization Committee, I think you ought to be here. So how could I say no to all that? But seriously, the college, as many of you know, has been a wonderful steward in our community. And some years back, we formed a committee of the board that we refer to as the Neighborhood Revitalization Committee. And I was asked to consider chairing that committee, largely because I grew up in this area. I grew up about 3 blocks from here on South Beaver Street. Spent the first 20 years of my life in this neighborhood, so I know it quite well. And I often joke about remembering the days when I used to, as a kid, walk up to this place up here that's today this beautiful institution we call York College. And while many of these buildings were being constructed, I was selling Kool-Aid to the builders. That's a true story. But today we're here to celebrate something I think that represents a wonderful achievement for our community. Our committee's purpose is really all about working with the community to enhance the quality of our neighborhoods. And here's a prime example of the college working with the community in what you'd call a public-private partnership in every sense of the word to make some real visible improvements here through this corridor. We all know how important appearance is, and I think as you see this transformation take place, it will be a very visible reality of this partnership that the college has had with the community, with the city, and the improvements that will take place here will be a tremendous, I think, springboard to an even larger vision that we have for this community in terms of continuing to grow the quality of the neighborhood. So I'm delighted to be here today. I'm delighted to be one small voice for the college as its commitment to this community to continue to do everything that it can to enhance the quality of life in our surrounding neighborhoods. So my thanks to all of you for being here, for being a part of this very special ceremony. And I know there are others that are going to be speaking here. Phil, who is coming up next? Who's next? Your Phil's next. Phil's coming. So again, thank you all very much for your part in making this possible. These improvements, I think, are going to be a wow factor for this community from here all the way out to South George Street, and this is only the beginning. So more to come. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tony. I would like to recognize, in a general sense, all the partners and players that are making this happen. And as we go through the program, I'd like to ask each of the ones that will be speaking to introduce the people within their particular realm, the city, the college, and the landlords. So they'll all give specific recognition at that point. But you may wonder how we got here today, and it was really a group effort, and it came about because a lot of the property owners in this area realized what this neighborhood could be and were willing to put their own money into making it what it could be. And today we're marking the start of that, and I think everybody's pretty excited. It happened fairly quickly. We really got wind of all the work the utility companies were doing last February, and we put it together and got the support from the property owners in this area. And fundamentally, it's a third. And 1/3 is coming from the utility companies that are doing the work they would normally be required to do. And I put in parentheses plus. They have really gone the extra mile with this. Secondly, York College has agreed to match all of the homeowners' contributions. And third, not only homeowners, but property owners. And third, we have the property owners themselves. And we are continuing to talk with all of them as we go along to try to explain it to them. We were sort of fortunate that in this part of Jackson Street, we had about 4 property owners that had quite a number of properties, and they realized the importance of making this happen and stepped up several months ago. We've been meeting monthly and recently every 2 weeks to put this together, and again we finally arrived. So I would like to, on every block, the city is making these signs for us. And it's essentially, and it really is a neighborhood at work, because it's that partnership of the property owners, the utility companies, and York College, with a lot of help from the city and doing different things, that's making this all happen. Altogether, it's about a $750,000 project, and what it'll involve is 100% makeover of the streetscape on Jackson. And that will be new curbs and sidewalks. We're putting ornamental lighting in all along, and we will have street trees that are being donated by the Rotary Club. And is a representative from the Rotary Club here today? They were trying to get one. And at this point, we have 104 of 201 property owners participating, and they've all contributed a considerable amount to make this happen. So this will go up on every block. And then as we go from block to block, we'll be adding this West Jackson Partners. And that's really what we're calling all those property owners that are investing in this project. They are partners truly in this project. And we will have the individual ones when we're done with the solicitation on another sign to back up this one. This sign sort of acknowledges the property owners plus all those organizations that contributed to this. We are starting within a day or so. We're going to bust the first, a little tough to do a groundbreaking on a streetscape, so we're going to do a little concrete busting, but we did bring some shovels along for the effect. So the pictures we'll do at the end of the speaking across the street there. I'd like to recognize a few people that were instrumental in this happening. And number one, Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania is represented by Russell Bedell. Russell right there. We just discovered we may be related. I'm Bredell, he's Bedell, so it's pretty close. York Water Company, J.T. Hand, the Executive Vice President's here. Right here, great. And sort of the way it works is that Columbia Gas is doing a lot of the improvements on the south side. York Water is helping us on the north side. Both of those entities are taking care of the street, and we're contracting directly with York College for the lighting aspect of this. So that's a real involved partnership. Stewart and Tate, Ken Killer? Oh, there we go. From Stewart and Tate and Al Myers. And Al and I have been working for several months refining the numbers for this. It's been an ongoing task, but I certainly appreciate all the help with that, Al. C.S. Davison, Jeff Shue, and Casey Deller, is he? There you go, Casey. They're with C.S. Davison Engineers, and they helped us with the design and the plans for this. And that, I would like to acknowledge John Statella, who is with Penn Lighting. He has been helpful to all the landlords when we were selecting the light poles and what it was going to actually look like. I'd also like to recognize some homeowners that are here today. And there's Clem and his wife Marlene, Aline. They live right down here. And Dorcas Haverstick is right here. She lives up the block, and her husband would have difficulty getting here, so he's unable to make it. And is Mark Parker here? He lives, hey Mark. I want to tell you, this is a real neighborhood, so that's what we want to make it. There's a lot of other folks here we'd like to recognize as well, but again, each individual will recognize it as they speak. So with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Bracey and for her remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. Good to see all the residents out here with us today. We are really happy about that, and you agreeing to be partners with us in this endeavor. Thank you so very much. Our property owners as well, and I know they'll be speaking a little later this morning as well. I want to take a minute to recognize my Director of Public Works, Jim Gross. He has the pleasure of meeting with the water company and the gas company regularly to make sure things are coordinated. Thank you, Jim. So all the elected officials, I know I saw City Council President Hill Evans, Councilman Nixon, I thought I saw Councilman, there he is, waving to me, Councilman Helfrich. Thank you all for being here as well. We are, and Representative Schreiber and his crew, I thought I saw them, there they are. Thank you, sir. We are here to celebrate another positive public and private partnership that will benefit, among others, our city, York College, and the residents of the Southwest neighborhood. Tony mentioned some of his history here, but he didn't mention he used to be my boss as we endeavored a while back at South George Street Community Partnership to really see this come to life. So we both are very, very excited about that. And it's also my pleasure to be joined here today by all of you, all of our friends of the city, and our newest friend, Dr. Gunter Smith, whom I look forward to sharing many more memorable moments like today with. We actually had a lunch meeting scheduled after this that I had to postpone for some reasons, but we will have that lunch. As you all know, our city was founded in 1741, and 26 years after York College of Pennsylvania was founded in 1787. The same year, our nation's Constitution was adopted. York College and the city of York have grown up together. We have matured together. We have prospered. We have weathered fair and stormy seasons. Our city and our college are linked together. As our city goes, so does our college, and vice versa. And that is what brings us together today. Recognizing the similar past for both communities, and that we must continue to work together to bring about positive change. Our college and our city each comprise of diverse constituencies, needs, challenges, and opportunities. Jackson Street has long been a thoroughfare between our city and our college. For many years, it has been composed of students and homeowners, landlords and tenants, living and coexisting. Through the recent update to our comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance, both York College and the student landlord community played a unique and important role. Working together over a several-year period, we developed a mutually satisfactory plan that will improve our Southwest neighborhood over time. Today is recognition of that plan. And to continue a pathway towards progress, both our college and city must be successful. That means neighborhoods must succeed. That means Jackson Street must succeed. It must be a place of pride for our residents, students, and college. Over time, it has begun to show its age, but we have several quality landlords and property owners and residents who have invested in their properties. They have participated in building up their blocks, improving curb appeal, and quality of life. Our city continues to work with these parties through neighborhood police enforcement, which we see some of our folks here today too, zoning and code enforcement, and fostering a healthy town and gown relationship. Jackson Street may be home to individuals for 9 months or 9 years, or like our own state representative Kevin Shriver, an alum, for a lifetime it seems. Or whether the student is matriculating through York College, a second-generation homeowner, or any number of the 5,000 York College alum living in central Pennsylvania, they all know of Jackson Street, of Jackson Street's fame, and maybe infamy. But one constant exists. For our city to succeed, for our college to succeed, we must create and continue to attract new people to live, work, invest in, and recreate in this area. So today we embark on a Quality of Place initiative, one that will demonstrate the benefits of public and private partnerships and how we can each work together to achieve a mutually satisfactory and sustaining results. Today represents a strategic investment in a highly visible common corridor that will enhance the value of our neighborhood, but also lead to a safer, greener community for our students and families to reside together and enjoy together. Today it is an honor to be here and say thank you to all of our partners who have come together to create this physical change. It is also my distinct honor to introduce your college president, Pamela Gunter Smith.
Well, let me add my good mornings to you. Thank you, Mayor Bracy. I think, probably one of the newest members of this community. I am a new president, and I am only 7 weeks old here at York College. This is an extraordinary opportunity for me to serve the institution and this community. One of the things that I thought about when I was going through the selection process and thinking about assuming the role of president was the opportunity to join an institution that really believed in playing a role in the community in which we live and the community in which we serve. And this is just one, I think, of many examples of how public and private enterprise can come together to create a livable space that will serve both the neighborhood, the city, and our own students. First, let me thank Tony Campisi, who serves as the chair of York College's Neighborhood Revitalization Committee. Thank you, he played a role in this. And also let me thank Ken Martin, who is our dean, who is very involved in managing all of the facilities and building that we do. Ken is certainly the man at York College who is behind the scenes, but is the one who is at the helm of that work that we do. York College has about 5,000 students. About 42% of our students live off campus. Many of our students actually live in this area. So this creates a home for them. But more importantly, I think it's important that our students learn or understand what it means to be a citizen of the neighborhood. And I think that this is one example that we can point to, and that there'll be many other opportunities for them to be engaged in their community. So I think that's enough words from me. I'm very happy to be here. This is an extraordinary opportunity. As I said, I very much wanted to be part of an institution that recognized that it was part of a neighborhood and that would be responsive to the needs of the neighborhood. So let me next introduce to you Scott Reinecker, who is representing the property owners here on Jackson Street. Scott?
Thank you, President Gunter Smith. On behalf of the private property owners, we would like to extend a thanks to the City of York, York College, Columbia Gas, the York Water Company, the Rotary Club of York, and Susquehanna Real Estate for their part in working with us to help transform a city neighborhood. I've been a part of York College and the Jackson Street area for 33 years. I went to York College, I'm a graduate, and I lived on West Jackson when I was off campus. My wife Sarah and my two children, Allie and Maxwell, actually lived right up the street here at 313 West Jackson. And for 27 years we have provided rental properties to the York College off-campus housing group and on the Jackson Street area and amongst the other areas. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize and thank the other property owners that are part of this West Jackson Partners. We have Mike Mulcahy. Please come forward, Mike. We have Bob Murphy, Tom and Diane Boyle, James and Dorcas Haverstack, and as we continue to build momentum, other committed property owners are Cherry Lane Realty. All Styles Real Estate. Clement Marlene Aline. Craig Petrozelli. Mark Parker. And Yorktown Pizzeria. You will be able to identify other partners as they come along. They will be displaying the window display with the York or the West Jackson Partners decal. This relationship has become a reality over time through relationship building and a commitment to collaborative thinking. The vision and ability to physically transform a neighborhood and its identity reaches well beyond what we individually own. Over time, we have made incremental improvements to our properties, but the opportunity to enter a partnership that can transform a public infrastructure in a 6-month period happens only one time a year. It may happen only once in a lifetime. Improving the livability spaces in our city is a collective responsibility. Municipalities and public works cannot and should not do it alone. As property owners, we see it as our responsibility to financially participate and work together to improve this neighborhood. In turn, it is an investment benefiting the residents of this neighborhood by improving their daily quality of life within an attractive, safe, livable neighborhood. And it's an investment in our economic future of the city. As property owners, we see this as a launching pad, just the beginning of what we can accomplish together in working towards a continual neighborhood improvement. Thank you again to all the partners that have helped make this a reality. I will now turn this back over to Phil from Susquehanna Real Estate.
Well, it's now time for pictures, and we're staging it. We even have a piece of equipment over here to bust up some concrete. So with the Lieutenant Fells's cooperation, we're going to try to move everyone over to the other side.